to Advaita Acharya and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I have described the glories of Sri Chaitanya in 6 verses. Now, in 5 verses, I shall describe the glory of Lord Nityananda. Next. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the fountainhead of all incarnations, and Lord Balaram is his second body. Purport. Lord Shri Krishna, the absolute personality of Godhead, is the primeval Lord, the original form of Godhead, and his first expansion is Shri Balarama. The personality of Godhead can expand himself in innumerable forms. The forms that have unlimited potency are called Swansha, and the forms that have limited potencies, the living entities, are called Vibhin Ansha. Text 5. They are both one and the same identity. They differ only in form. He is the first bodily expansion of Krishna, and he assists in Lord Krishna's transcendental pastimes. Purport. Balaram is Vibhin Ansha expansion of the Lord, and therefore there is no difference in potency between Krishna and Balaram. The only difference is in their bodily structure. As the first expansion of Godhead, Balaram is the chief deity among the first quadruple form, and he is the foremost assistant of Sri Krishna in his transcendental activities. Text 6. That original Lord Krishna appeared in Navadvipa as Lord Chaitanya, and Balaram appeared with him as Lord Nityananda. Text 7. May Shri Nityananda Ram be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshana, Sheshnag, and the Vishnu who lie on the Karana ocean, Garbha ocean, and the ocean of milk are his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portion. Purport. Sri Sarup Damodar Goswami has recorded this verse in his diary to offer his respectful obeisances to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. This verse also appears as the 7th of the first 14 verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Text 8. Lord Balaram is the original Sankarshana. He assumes 5 other forms to serve Lord Krishna. He himself helps in the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and he does the work of creation in 4 other forms. Text 10. He executes the order of Lord Krishna in the work of creation, and in the form of Lord Shesha, he serves Krishna in various ways. Purport. According to expert opinion, Balaram, as the chief of original quadruple form, is also the original Sankarshana. Balaram, the first expansion of Krishna, expands himself in 5 forms. 1. Maha Sankarshana. 2. Karana Dakshai. 3. Garbhodakshai. 4. Shirodakshai. And 5. Shesha. These 5 plenary portions are responsible for both the spiritual and material cosmic manifestations. In these 5 forms, Lord Balaram assists Lord Krishna in his activities. The first 4 of these forms are responsible for the cosmic manifestations, whereas Shesha is responsible for personal service to the Lord. Shesha is called Ananta or unlimited because he assists the personality of Godhead in his unlimited expansions by performing an unlimited variety of services. Sri Balaram is the servitor Godhead who serves Lord Krishna in all affairs of existence and knowledge. Lord Nityananda Prabhu, who is the same servitor Godhead Balaram, performs the same services to Lord Gauranga by constant association. Text 11. In all the forms, he tastes the transcendental bliss of serving Krishna. That same Balaram is Lord Nityananda, the companion of Lord Gaur Sundara. Text 12. I have explained this 7th verse in 4 subsequent verses. By these verses, all the worlds can know the truth about Lord Nityananda. Next. I surrender unto the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Ram, who is known as Sankarshana in the midst of Chaturvyuh, consisting of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyuman and Aniruddha. He possesses full opulences and resides in Vaikuntha Loka, far beyond the material creation. Purport. This is a verse from Sri Sarup Damodar's Goswami diaries. It appears as the 8th of the first 14 verses of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Text 14. Beyond the material nature lies the realm known as Paravyoma, the spiritual sky. Like Lord Krishna himself, it possesses all transcendental attributes such as the six opulences. Purport. According to Shankhya philosophy, the material cosmos is composed of 24 elements. The 5 gross elements, the 3 subtle material elements, the 5 knowledge acquiring senses, the 5 active senses, the 5 objects of sense pleasure, and the Mahat Tattva. Empiric philosophers, unable to go beyond these elements, speculate that anything beyond them must be avyakta or inexplicable. But the world beyond the 24 element is not inexplicable, for it is explained in Bhagavad Gita as the eternal nature. Beyond the manifested and unmanifested existence of material nature is a Sanatan nature, which is called Paravyoma or the spiritual sky. Since that nature is spiritual in quality, there are no qualitative difference there. Everything there is spiritual, everything is good, and everything possesses the spiritual form of Sri Krishna himself. That spiritual sky is the manifested internal potency of Sri Krishna. It is distinct from the material sky manifested by his external potency. Next sloka. Text 19. That abode is manifested within the material world by the will of Lord Sri Krishna. It is identical to that original Gokula. They are not two different bodies. Text. Translation. Purport. The above mentioned Dhama are movable by the omnipotent will of the Krishna. When Sri Krishna appears on the face of earth, he can also make his Dhama appear without changing their original structure. One should not discriminate between the Dhama on the earth and those in the spiritual sky, thinking those on the earth to be material and the original abode to the spiritual. All of them are spiritual. Only for us who cannot experience anything beyond matter in our present conditional state do the Dhama, and Lord himself in his archer form appears before us resembling matter to give us the facility to see spiritual and material eyes. In the beginning, this may be difficult for the neophyte to understand, but in due course, when one is advanced in devotional service, it will be easier, and he will appreciate the Lord appearance in these tangible forms. Text 20. The land there is touchstone, Chintamani, and the forest abound with desire trees. Material eye sees it as an ordinary place. Purport. By the grace of the Lord, his Dhama and he himself can be present simultaneously without losing their original importance. Text 21. But with the eyes of love of Godhead, one can see its real identity as the place where Lord Krishna performs his pastimes with the cowherd boys and cowherd girls. Next. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor, who is tending the cows, yielding all desires, in abode built with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of purpose trees. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of goddess of fortune. Next. He manifests his own form in Mathura and Dwarka. He enjoys pastimes in various ways by expanding into the quadruple form. Next. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyuman and Aniruddha are the primary quadruple form from whom all other quadruple form are manifested. They are all purely transcendental. Text 25. Only in these three places, Dwarka, Mathura and Gokul, does the all-sporting Lord Krishna performs his endless pastimes with his personal associates. Text 27-28. In the Vaikuntha planets of the spiritual sky, the Lord manifests his identity as Narayana and performs pastimes in various ways. Krishna's own form has only two hands, but in the form of Lord Narayana, he has four hands. Lord Narayana holds a conch shell, disc, club, and lotus flower, and he is full of great opulences. The Shri, Bhu, and Neela energies serves at his lotus feet. Text 29. Although his pastimes are his only characteristic functions, by his causeless mercy he performs one activity for the fallen souls. Text 30. He delivers the fallen living entities by offering them the four kind of liberations: Shalokya, Shamipya, Shashti, and Sarupya. Next. Those who attain Brahma Suyagna liberation cannot gain entrance into Vaikuntha. Their residence is outside the Vaikuntha planet. Text 32. Outside the Vaikuntha planet is the atmosphere of the glowing effulgence, which consists of the supremely bright rays of the body of Lord Shri Krishna.
Text 33. That region is called Siddhaloka, and it is beyond material nature. Its essence is spiritual, but it does not have spiritual varieties. 34. It is like the homogeneous effulgence around the sun, but inside the sun are the chariots, horses, and other opulences of the sun god. Text 35. As through devotion to the Lord one can attain his abode, many have attained that goal by abandoning their sinful activities and absorbing their minds in the Lord through lust, envy, fear, or affection. Text 36. Where it has been stated that Lord's enemies and devotees attain the same destination, this refers to the ultimate oneness of Brahman and Lord Krishna. This may be understood by the example of the sun and sunshine, in which Brahman is like the sunshine and Krishna himself is like the sun. Text 37. Thus, in the spiritual sky, there are varieties of pastimes within the spiritual energy. Outside the Vaikuntha planets appears the impersonal reflection of light. Text 38. That impersonal Brahman effulgence consists only of the effulgent rays of the Lord. Those fit for Sayujya liberation merge into that effulgence. Text 39. Beyond the region of ignorance, the material cosmic manifestation, lies the realm of Siddhaloka. The Siddhas reside there, absorbed in the bliss of Brahman. Demons killed by the Lord also attain that realm. Text 40. In that spiritual sky, on the four sides of Narayana, are the second expansions of the quadruple expansions of Dwaraka. Text 41. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudh constitute this second quadruple. They are purely transcendental. Text 42. There, the personal feature of Balram, called Mahasankarshan, is the shelter of the spiritual energy. He is the primary cause, the cause of all causes. 43. One variety of the pastimes of the spiritual energy is described as pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva. It comprises all the abodes of Vaikuntha. Text 44. The six attributes are all spiritual. Know for certain that they are all manifestations of the opulence of Sankarshana. Text 45. There is one marginal potency known as the Jiva. Mahasankarshan is the shelter of all Jivas. 46. Sankarshan is the original shelter of the Purush, from whom this world is created and in whom it is dissolved. He, Sankarshan, is the shelter of everything. He is wonderful in every respect, and his opulences are infinite. Even Ananta cannot describe his glory. Text 48. That Sankarshan, who is transcendental pure goodness, is a partial expansion of Nityanand Balram. Text 49. I have briefly explained the 8th verse. Now please listen with attention as I explain the 9th verse. I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Sri Nityanand Ram, whose partial representation called Karna Dakshai Vishnu, lying on the Karna ocean, is the original Purusha, the master of the illusory energy, and the shelter of all the universes. 51. Outside the Vaikuntha planets is the impersonal Brahman effulgence, and beyond that effulgence is the Karna ocean or causal ocean. 52. Surrounding Vaikuntha is a mass of water that is endless, unfathomed, and unlimited. 53. The earth, water, fire, air, and ether of Vaikuntha are all spiritual. Material elements are not found there. 54. The water of the Karna ocean, which is the original cause, is therefore spiritual. The sacred Ganges, which is but a drop of it, purifies the fallen souls. 55. In that ocean lies one plenary portion of Lord Sankarsana. 56. He is known as the first Purusha, the creator of the total material energy. He, the cause of the universe, is the first incarnation, casts his glance over Maya. 57. Maya Shakti resides outside the ocean of Karna. Maya cannot touch its waters. 58. Maya has two varieties of existence. One is called Pradhan or Prakriti. It supplies the ingredients of the material world. 59. Because Prakriti is dull and inert, it cannot actually be the cause of the material world. But Lord Krishna shows his mercy by infusing his energy into the dull, inert material nature. Text 60. Thus, Prakriti, by the energy of Lord Krishna, becomes the secondary cause, just as iron becomes red hot by the energy of fire. 61. Therefore, Lord Krishna is the original cause of the cosmic manifestation. Prakriti is like the nipples on the neck of a goat, for they cannot give any milk. 62. The Maya aspect of material nature is the immediate cause of the cosmic manifestation, but it also cannot be the real cause, for the original cause is Lord Narayana. 63. Just as the original cause of an earthen pot is the potter, so the creator of the material world is the first Purusha incarnation, Karnan Vasai Vishnu. 64. Lord Krishna is the creator, and Maya only helps him as an instrument, just like the potter's wheel and other instruments, which are the instrumental causes of a pot. 65. The first Purusha casts his glance at Maya from a distance, and thus he impregnates her with the seed of life in the form of the living entities. 66. The reflected rays of his body mix with Maya, and thus Maya gives birth to myriads of universes. 67. The Purusha enters each and every one of the countless universes. He manifests himself in as many separate forms as there are universes. 68. When the Purusha exhales, the universe becomes manifest with each outward breath. 69. Thereafter, when he inhales, all the universes again enter his body. 70. Just as the atomic particles of dust pass through the openings of a window, so the networks of universes pass through the pores of the skin of the Purusha. 71. The Brahmas and other lords of the mundane worlds appear from the pores of Mahavishnu and remain alive for the duration of his one exhalation. I adore the primal Lord Govinda, for Mahavishnu is a portion of his plenary portion. 72. Where am I? A small creature of 7 spans, the measure of my own land? I am enclosed in the universe composed of material nature, the total material energy, false ego, ether, air, water, and earth. And what is your glory? Unlimited universes pass through the pores of your body, just like the particles of dust passing through the opening of a window. Text 73. A part of a hall is called a kala. Shri Balram is the counter form of Lord Govinda. Text 74. Balram's own expansion is called Mahasankarshan, and his fragment, the Purusha, is counted as a kala or a part of a plenary portion.
Text 75. I say that this Kala is Mahavishnu. He is Mahapurusha, who is the source of other Purushas and who is all pervading. Garbhodakshai and Shirodakshai are both called Purushas. They are plenary portions of Karnodakshai Vishnu, the first Purusha, who is the abode of all the universes. Text 77. Quote, Vishnu has three forms called Purushas. The first, Mahavishnu, is the creator of total material energy, Mahat. The second is Garbhodakshai, who is situated within each universe. And the third is Shirodakshai, who lives in the heart of every living being. He who knows these three becomes liberated from the clutches of Maya. Purport. This verse appears in Laghu Bhagavatamrita Purva Khanda 33, where it has been quoted from the Shatwata Tantra, text 78. Although Shirodakshai Vishnu is called a Kala of Lord Krishna, he is the source of Matsya, Kurma and other incarnations. Text 79. All these incarnations of Godhead are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of Purusha Avatara, but Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In every age, he protects the world through his different features when the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. Next, that Purusha, Shirodakshai Vishnu, is the performer of creation, maintenance and destruction. He manifests himself in many incarnations, for he is the maintainer of the world. That fragment of Mahapurusha, who appears for the purpose of creation, maintenance and annihilation, is called an incarnation. That Mahapurusha is identical with the personality of Godhead. He is the original incarnation, the seed of all others, and the shelter of everything. Text 83. That Purusha is the primary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Time, nature, Prakriti, the mind, the material elements, false ego, the modes of nature, senses, universal form, complete independence, and the moving and non-moving being appear subsequently as his opulences. Next, in the beginning of creation, the Lord expanded himself in the form of Purusha incarnation, accompanied by all the ingredients of material creation. I offer my full obeisances unto the feet of Lord Nityananda Ram, a partial part of whom is Garbhodakshai Vishnu. From the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu sprouts the lotus, that is the birthplace of Brahma, the engineer of the universe. The stem of that lotus is the resting place of the multitude of the planets. Next, after creating millions of universes, the first Purusha entered into each of them in a separate form as Garbhodakshai. Entering the universe, he found only darkness with no place in which to reside. Thus, he began to consider. Next, then he created water from the perspiration of his own body, and with that water filled half the universe. Next, the universe measures 500 million yojana. Its length and breadth are one and the same. Next, after filling half the universe with water, he made his own residence therein and manifested the 14 worlds in the other half. Text 99. There he manifested Vaikuntha as his own abode and rested in the water on the bed of Lord Shesha. He lay there with Ananta as his bed. Lord Ananta is a divine serpent having thousands of heads, He lay there with Ananta on his bed. Lord Ananta is a divine serpent having thousands of heads, thousands of faces, thousands of eyes and thousands of hands and feet. He is the seed of all incarnations and is the cause of the material world. Text 102. From his navel grew a lotus flower which became the birthplace of Lord Brahma. Next, within the stem of that lotus were the 14 worlds. Thus the Supreme Lord as Brahma created the entire creation. Next, and as Lord Vishnu, he maintains the entire world. Lord Vishnu, being beyond all material attributes, has no touch with the material qualities. Assuming the form of Rudra, he destroys the creation. Thus, creation, maintenance and dissolution are all created by his will. Next, He is the super soul, Hiranyagarbha, the cause of the material world. The universal form is conceived of his expansion. Next, that Lord Narayana is a part of the plenary portion of Lord Nityananda Ram, who is the source of all incarnation. Text 108. I have thus explained the 10th verse. Now please listen to the meaning of the 11th verse with all your mind. Text 109. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the feet of Lord Nityananda Ram, whose secondary part is the Vishnu lying in the ocean of milk. That Shirodakshai Vishnu is the super soul of all living entity and the maintainer of all the universes. Sheshanag is his further subpart. The material planets rest within the stem that grew from the lotus navel of Lord Narayana. Among these planets are 7 oceans. Next, there, in part of the ocean of milk, lies Shweta Deepa, the abode of the sustainer, Lord Vishnu.
Text 112. He is the super soul of all living entities. He maintains this material world and he is its Lord. Text 113. In the ages and millenniums of Manu, he appears as different incarnations to establish the principles of real religion and vanquish the principles of irreligion. Text 123. He serves Lord Krishna, assuming all the following forms: umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillow, garments, resting chair, residence, sacred thread, and throne. Text 124. He is thus called Lord Shesha, for he has attained the ultimate end of servitude to Krishna. He takes many forms for the service of Krishna, and thus he serves the Lord. 125. That person of whom Lord Ananta is a kala or a part of a plenary part is Lord Nityanand Prabhu, who therefore can know the pastimes of Lord Nityananda. 126. From the conclusions we can know the limit of the truth of Lord Nityananda. But what glory is there in calling him Ananta? But I accept it as the truth because it has been said by devotees. Since he is the source of all incarnations, everything is possible in him. 128. They know that there is no difference between the incarnation and the source of all incarnations. Previously, Lord Krishna was regarded in the light of different principles by different people. 129. Some said that Krishna was directly Lord Narayan, and some called him Lord Mamandev incarnate. Text 130. Some called him Lord Krishna, an incarnation of Lord Shirodakshai. All these names are true, nothing is impossible. When the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna appears, he is a shelter of all plenary parts. Thus, at that time, all his plenary portions join in him. 132. In whatever form one knows the Lord, one speaks of him in that way. In this, there is no falsity, since everything is possible in Krishna. Text 133. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has exhibited to everyone all the pastimes of all the various incarnations. Thus, Lord Nityananda has unlimited incarnations. In transcendental emotion, he calls himself a servant of Lord Chaitanya. 135. Sometimes he serves Lord Chaitanya as his guru, sometimes as his friend, and sometimes as his servant. Just as Lord Balram played with Lord Krishna in these 3 different modes in Braja. 136. Playing like a bull, Lord Balram fights with Krishna head to head, and sometimes Lord Krishna massages the feet of Lord Balram. 137. He considers himself a servant and knows Krishna to be his master. Thus, he regards himself as a fragment of his plenary portion. Acting just like the ordinary boys, they played like roaring bulls as they fought each other, and they imitated the calls of various animals. 139. Sometimes, when Lord Krishna's elder brother, Lord Balrama, felt tired after playing and lay his hand on the lap of a cowherd boy, Lord Krishna himself served him by massaging his feet. 140. What is this mystic power and where has she come from? Is she a demigod? or a demoness. She must be the illusory energy of my master, Lord Krishna, for who else can bewilder me? Next 141. What is the value of a throne to Lord Krishna? The masters of the various planetary systems accept the dust of his lotus feet on their crowned heads. That dust makes all the holy places sacred. And even Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lakshmi, and myself, who are all portions of his plenary portions, eternally carry that dust on our hands. 142. Lord Krishna alone is the supreme controller, and all others are his servants. They dance as he makes them do so. Text 143. Thus, Lord Chaitanya is also the only controller. All others are his associates or servants. Text 144. His elders, such as Lord Nityananda, Advaita Acharya, and Srivas Thakur, as well as his other devotees, whether his juniors, equals, or superiors, are all his associates who help him in the pastimes. Lord Gauranga fills his aims with their help. Text 146. Sri Advaita Acharya and Srila Nityanand Prabhu, who are plenary parts of the Lord, are his principal associates. With these two, the Lord performs his pastimes in various ways. 147. Lord Advaita Acharya is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Lord Chaitanya accepts him as his preceptor, Advaita Acharya is a servant of the Lord. Text 148. I cannot describe the truth of Advaita Acharya. He has delivered the entire world by making Lord Krishna descend. 149. Lord Nityananda Swarup formally appeared as Lakshman and served Lord Rama as his younger brother. Text 150. The activities of the Lord Ram were full of suffering, but Lakshman, of his own accord, tolerated that suffering. 151. As a younger brother, he could not stop Lord Rama from his resolution, and so he remained silent, although unhappy in his mind. 152. When Lord Krishna appeared, he, Balram, became his elder brother to serve him to his heart's content and make him enjoy all sorts of happiness. 153. Sri Ram and Sri Lakshman, who are plenary portions of Lord Krishna and Lord Balram, entered into them at the time of Krishna's and Balram's appearance. 154. Krishna and Balram present themselves as elder or younger brother, but in the scriptures they are described as the original Supreme Personality of Godhead and his expansion. 155. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is, by his various plenary portions, appeared in the world in different forms and incarnations, such as Lord Rama, but who personally appears in his supreme original form as Lord Krishna. Text 156. Lord Chaitanya is the same Lord Krishna, and Lord Nityananda is Lord Balram. Lord Nityananda fulfills all of Lord Chaitanya's desires. Text 157. The ocean of Lord Nityananda's glory is infinite and unfathomable. Only by his mercy can I touch even a drop of it. Text 158. Please listen to another glory of his mercy. He made a fallen living entity climb to the highest limit. 159. To disclose it is not proper, for it should be kept as confidential as the Vedas. Yet I shall speak of it to make his mercy known to all. Of Lord Nityananda, I write of your mercy out of great exultation. Please forgive me for my offenses. Lord Nityananda Prabhu had a servant named Sri Minaketa Ramdas, who was a reservoir of love. At my house there was Sankirtan day and night, and therefore he visited there. Absorbed in emotional love, he sat in my courtyard, and all the Vaishnavas bowed down at his lotus feet. Absorbed in emotional love, he sat in my courtyard, and all the Vaishnavas bowed down at his feet. Text 164. In a joyful mood of love of God, he sometimes climbed upon the shoulder of someone offering obeisances, and sometimes he struck others with his flute or mildly slapped them. Text 165. When someone saw the eyes of Minaketa Ramdas, tears would automatically flow from his own eyes. For a constant shower of tears flowed from the eyes of Minaketa Ramdas.
Text 166. Sometimes there were eruptions of ecstasy like Kadamba flower on some part of his body, and sometimes one limb would be stunned while other would be trembling. Next, whenever he shouted aloud the name Nityananda, the people around him were filled with great wonder and astonishment. Next, one respectable Brahmana named Sri Gurnarnava Mishra Gunarnava Mishra was serving the deity. When Minaketana was seated in the yard, this Brahmana did not offer him respect. Seeing this, Sri Ramadas became angry and spoke. Quote, here I find the second Romharshana Sutta, who did not stand to show honor when he saw Lord Balarama. After saying this, he danced and sang to his heart's content, but the Brahmana did not become angry, for he was then serving Lord Krishna. Next, at the end of the festival, Minaketana Ramdas went away, offering his blessings to everyone. At that time, he had some controversy with my brother. Next, my brother had firm faith in Lord Chaitanya, but only a dim glimmer of faith in Lord Nityananda. Knowing this, Sri Ramdas felt unhappy in his mind. I then rebuked my brother. Text 175. These two brothers, I told him, are like one body. They are identical manifestations. If you do not believe in Lord Nityananda, you will fall down. Next quote. If you have faith in one but disrespect the other, your logic is like the logic of accepting half a hen. It would be better to be an atheist by slighting both brothers than a hypocrite by believing in one and slighting the other. Next, thus Sri Ramadas broke his flute in anger and went away, and at that time my brother fell down. Text 179. I have thus described the power of the servant of Lord Nityananda. Now I shall describe the another characteristics of his mercy. Text 180. That night Lord Nityananda appeared to me in dream because of my good quality in chastising my brother. In the village of Jahamatapura, which is near Naihati, Lord Nityananda appeared to me in dream. Text 182. I fell at his feet, offering my obeisances, and he then placed his own lotus feet upon my head. Text 183. Arise, get up. He told me again and again. Upon rising, I was greatly astonished to see his beauty. He had a glossy black skin complexion, and his tall, strong, heroic structure made him seem like a Cupid himself. Text 185. He had beautifully formed hands, arms, and legs, and eyes like lotus flower. He wore a silk cloth with a silk turban on his head. He wore golden earring on his ear and a golden armlet and bangles. He wore tinkling anklet on his feet and a garland of flowers around his neck. His body was anointed with sandalwood pulp, and he was nicely decorated with tilaka. His movements surpassed those of maddened elephant. Text 188. His face was more beautiful. His face was more beautiful than million upon millions of moon, and his teeth were like pomegranate seeds because of his chewing beetle. His body moved to and fro, right and left, for he was absorbed in ecstasy. He chanted, Krishna, Krishna, in deep voice. Text 190. His red stick moving in his hand, he seemed like a maddened lion. All around the four sides of his feet were bumblebees. His devotees, dressed like cowherd boys, surrounded his feet like so many bees and also chanted Krishna, Krishna, absorbed in ecstatic love. Some of them played horns and flutes, and others danced and sang. Some of them offered betel nuts, and others waved chamara fan about him. Thus, I saw such opulence in Lord Nityananda Swarupa. His wonderful form, qualities, and pastimes are all transcendental. I was overwhelmed with transcendental ecstasy, not knowing anything else. Then, then Lord Nityananda smiled and spoke to me as follows, quote, "O my dear Krishna Das, do not be afraid. Go to Vrindavan, for there you will attain all things." After saying this, he directed me toward Vrindavan by waving his hand. Then he disappeared from his associates. I fainted and fell to the ground. My dream broke and I regained consciousness as I saw morning had come. I thought about what I had seen and heard and concluded that Lord had ordered me to proceed to Vrindavan at once. That very second I started for Vrindavan, and by His mercy I reached there in great happiness. All glories, all glories to Lord Nityananda Balram, by whose mercy I have attained shelter in the transcendental abode of Vrindavan. All glories to the merciful Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatana. By his mercy I have attained the shelter of the great personality Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and by his mercy I have found the seat of Sri Swarupa Damodar. Text 203. By the mercy of Sanatan Goswami, I have learned the final conclusions. By the mercy of Sanatan Goswami, I have learned the final conclusions of devotional service, and by the grace of Sri Rupa Goswami, I have tasted the highest nectar of devotional service. Next. All glories. All glories.
फोन माला छोड़ दो, बाद में करना. फोन लेके आओ उधर से, जाओ. फोन, हाँ ठीक. फोन जाओ, जल्दी जाओ.
All glories to the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, by whose mercy I have attained Sri Radha Govinda. I am more sinful than Jagai and Madhai, and even lower than worm in the stool. Anyone who hears my name loses the result of his pious activities. Anyone who utters my name becomes sinful. Who in this world but Nityananda could show his mercy to such an abominable person as me? Text 208. Because he is intoxicated by ecstatic love and is an incarnation of mercy, he does not distinguish between the good and the bad. He delivers all those who fall down before him. Therefore, he has delivered such a sinful and fallen person like myself. Although I am sinful and I am the most fallen, he has conferred upon me the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami. Text 211. I am not fit to speak all the confidential word about my visiting Lord Madan Gopal and Lord Govinda. Lord Madan Gopal, the chief deity of Vrindavan, is the enjoyer of Rasa dance and is directly the son of King of Vraja. Text 213. He enjoys the Rasa dance with Srimati Radharani, Sri Lalita and others. He manifests himself as the Cupid of the Cupids. Text 214. Wearing yellow garments and decorated with a flower garland, Lord Krishna, appearing among the gopis with his smiling lotus face, looking directly like the charmer of the heart of Cupid. Text 215. Text 215. With Radha and Lalita serving him on his two sides, he attracts the heart of all by his own sweetness. Text 216.
इसमें देखो
The mercy of Lord Nityananda showered me Sri Madan Mohan and gave me Sri Madan Mohan as my Lord and Master. He granted to one as low as me the sight of Lord Govinda. Words cannot describe this, nor is it fit to be disclosed. Text 218. On the altar made of gems in the principal temple of Vrindavan, amidst a forest of desire tree, Lord Govinda, the son of King of Vraja, sits upon a throne of gem and manifests his full glory and sweetness, thus enchanting the entire world. Text 220. By his left side is Srimati Radharani and her personal friends. With them, Lord Govinda enjoys the rasa dance and many other pastimes. Text 221. Lord Brahma, sitting on the lotus feet of his own abode, Lord Brahma, sitting on his lotus feet in his own abode, always meditates on him and worship him with the mantra consisting of 18 syllables. Next. Everyone in the 14 world meditates upon him, and all the denizens of Vaikuntha sings of his qualities and pastimes. Text 223. The goddess of fortune is attracted by his sweetness, which Srila Rupa Goswami has described in this way. Text 224. Quote, My dear friends, if you are indeed attached to your worldly friends, do not look at the smiling face of Lord Govinda as he stands on the bank of Yamuna at Keshi Ghata. Casting sidelong glances, he places his flute on his hip, which seems like newly blossomed twigs. His transcendental body, bending in three places, appears very bright in the moonlight.
एक चीज जो दिया है उसको संभालो.
Next, text 225.
इसको हटाओ इसको.
किसको?
दूसरा बकेट लेके एक मिनट.
इसको डाल के
इधर ही दूसरा बकेट दे दो.
Without a doubt, he is directly the son of King of Vraja. Only a fool consider him a statue. For that offense he cannot be liberated, rather he will fall into the terrible hellish condition. What more should I say? Text 227. Therefore, who can describe the mercy of the lotus feet of him, Lord Nityananda, by whom I have attained the shelter of this Lord Govinda? Next, all the groups of Vaishnava who lives in Vrindavan are absorbed in chanting the all-auspicious name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda are their life and soul. Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya are their life and soul. They do not know anything but devotional service to Sri Radha Krishna. Text 230. The dust and the shade of the lotus feet of Vaishnava have been granted to this fallen soul by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Text 231. Lord Nityananda said, quote, in Vrindavan all things are possible, unquote. Here I have explained this brief statement in detail. Text 232. I have attained all this by coming to Vrindavan, and this was made possible by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. I have described my story without reservation. I attribute the attributes of Lord Nityananda making me like a madman force me to write these things. Text 234. The glories of Lord Nityananda's transcendental attributes are unfathomable. Even Lord Shesha with his thousands of mouths cannot find their limit. Text 235. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunatha, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita following in his footsteps. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 5, describing the glories of Lord Nityananda Balarama.
ओके चैतन्य भागवत
यहाँ पे
नित्यानंद भागवत
Okay. This one?
गुलाब वाला है उसमें फ्लावर हो गया छूट गया
दूसरा ड्रेस था कुछ रिजेक्ट कर दिए अनप्लग है हमारा कानून अपने आप गर्मी आ जाएगा
Chapter 3 first.
टाइम 6:45
Chapter 3 Lord Nityananda's meeting with Shripad Madhavendra Puri. As Lord Nityananda travelled by the will of Providence, he met Sri Madhavendra Puri. The body of Sri Madhavendra Puri was imbued with ecstatic love of God, and his followers shared the same sentiments. He did not relish anything other than loving sentiments for Lord Krishna, who enjoyed performing activities in the body of Madhavendra Puri. What can I say about the devotion of he who was the spiritual master of Sri Advaita Acharya? Seeing Madhavendra Puri, Nityananda Prabhu at once fell unconscious unto the ground, stunned in ecstatic prema. Seeing Lord Nityananda, Madhavendra Puri forgot himself and also fell unconscious. Sri Gaur Chandra repeatedly said that Sri Madhavendra Puri is the original root of worship in ecstatic love. After both Lord Nityananda and Madhavendra Puri swooned, the disciples headed by Ishwara Puri began to cry. Recovering after some time, Lord Nityananda and Madhavendra Puri embraced each other and cried. Overwhelmed by ecstatic love for Krishna, they rolled on the sand and cried out loudly. The tears of love
हाँ एक मिनट माला दे रहा हूँ
the tears of love flowing from their eyes like rain-soaked Mother Earth.
हाँ
The tears of love flowing from their eyes like rain-soaked Mother Earth, making her feel gratified. Shivering shedding of tear and the hair of their bodies standing on end, as well as other ecstatic symptoms manifested themselves one after another endlessly. This ecstasy was caused by Lord Krishna personally residing in their bodies. Lord Nityananda said, quote, "The result of visiting all the holy places of pilgrimage have now borne fruit. Today I have seen the lotus feet of Madhavendra Puri. Seeing his ecstatic love of God, my life has become successful." Sri Madhavendra Puri embraced Nityananda Prabhu but was unable to reply because his throat was choked up due to the ecstatic love. Madhavendra Puri was so pleased that he was unable to release Nityananda Prabhu from his embrace. Ishwara Puri, Brahmananda Puri, and all the other disciples of Madhavendra Puri felt intense attachment for Nityananda Prabhu. They had met many sadhus, but never before they had seen such symptoms of prema. Feeling distress at the thought of mixing with materialistic people, They had wandered in the forest, but now, after meeting Lord Nityananda, their distress was relieved and their Krishna prema was aroused. Nityananda Prabhu travelled for some time with Madhavendra Puri, relishing Krishna Katha. The qualities of Madhavendra Puri were most wonderful.
एक मिनट मनोज पीछे आओ
Nityananda Prabhu travelled for some time with Madhavendra Puri and relishing Krishna Katha. The qualities of Madhavendra Puri were most wonderful. He would swoon just by seeing a dark cloud. Out of love for Krishna, he laughed and cried throughout the day and night, shouting, "Hi, hi," like a drunkard. Lord Nityananda was intensely absorbed in his loving sentiment. Lord Nityananda was intensely absorbed in his loving sentiments for Govinda. He laughed loudly, swaying to and fro. Madhavendra Puri's disciple constantly chanted the holy name of Lord Hari. Seeing the extraordinary symptoms of love manifested in Nityananda Prabhu and Madhavendra Puri, the two forgot whether it was a day or night in their absorption of ecstatic love for Krishna. Although remaining together for a number of days, Nityananda Prabhu and Madhavendra Puri felt that period to be hardly a moment. Who knows all that took place between the Lord and Madhavendra Puri? Only Krishna knows.
माला दे दो उधर से
Unable to give up the company of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Madhavendra Puri constantly remained with him. Next, Madhavendra Puri said, "I never seen such a ecstatic love. Wherever there is such prema is my favorite holy place. I know Krishna has given me his mercy because he has given me such a friend as Nityananda. Wherever one finds Nityananda's company is the most sacred and transcendental place. That devotee who hears the name of Nityananda will certainly attain the lotus feet of Krishna Chandra."
जय श्री नित्यानंद trayodashi की
Jai. If one has the slightest envy for Nityananda, Krishna will never favor him even if he is a devotee. Madhavendra Puri exhibited great affection for Lord Nityananda throughout the day and night with his speech and deeds. Nityananda Prabhu, considering Madhavendra Puri to be nothing other than his guru, these two vastly learned personalities did not know whether it was a day or night due to their ecstatic love for Krishna. After staying together for some days, Nityananda Prabhu left for Shetu Bandhan, Rameshwara, and Madhavendra Puri went to see Saryu River. In their absorption for love of Krishna, both Lord Nityananda and Madhavendra Puri forgot their bodies. Feeling of separation for the Lord maintains a devotee's life. Otherwise, how could one tolerate such intense feelings? Whoever hears about the meetings of Lord Nityananda and Madhavendra Puri will certainly achieve the wealth of love for Krishna. After traveling in an ecstatic mood for some days, Lord Nityananda arrived at Setu Bandh. After taking bath at Dhanush Tirtha, he went to see Lord Rameshwara. Lord Nityananda next went to Vijayanagara. He visited the Mayapuri, Avanti and Godavari river and then went to the abode of Jiyad Narsimha. He visited Tirumali and Kurmashetra and eventually arrived at Jagannath Puri to see Lord Jagannath, the Lord of the Nilachala. As he approached Sri Nilachala, Lord Nityananda fell unconscious. After seeing the flag atop the temple, he saw Lord Jagannath as the source of Chaturbhyut, Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyuman and Anirudh. Immediately upon seeing the Lord Jagannath, Lord Nityananda fell into the trance of ecstatic love so that his hair stood on end.
टेबल लेके आओ
माला
किनका
बना
अभी तो हुआ नहीं ना
माला तुम्हारा
लेसन मान लेसन
हाँ माला लाते फूल ले आओ थोड़ा और किलो और फूल ले आते थे हमेशा कुछ लाया नहीं
अभी तो आपने बोला कि टाइम है तो लेना चाहिए। आप लोगों ने करा तो है ना अभिषेक?
हाँ मैंने भी कहा
ठीक है।
हाँ से Yes, once. I came yesterday. ओके अभी बढ़िया से देख लीजिएगा वो ज्वेलरी बना क्या क्या है किस तरह कुछ इधर तो अभी जब भी हटाएंगे जब देखेंगे अभी पहले आप कर लीजिए Sure.
तो टमाटर भी वैसे ही लगाए थे बहुत बड़ा माला तो चेंज करना है
अच्छा
इसको पूरा चादर दे देता है
एक होगा तो तैयार होगा नहीं
नीचे से लेते हो
नीचे से
यूट्यूब किचन से
तो आज भोग काटा नहीं
वो भी है बड़ा थाली लेके जाओ
एक थाली में ही फल सारा डाल दिया है
हमने नीचे जो बना है पता नहीं ये भोग लगाता है गुलाबी महाराज का अभिषेक हो गया टॉवल छोटा
ये ले लगा इसको क्या बोलते हैं ये वाला
उसको बोलते हैं मेरा
गुंजा चलिए इसमें है नहीं कल तो एक बाहर ही रखा था
उसको बोलो महाराज अभिषेक हो गया भोग लगा रहे हैं देना है देने के बाद दीजिएगा ठीक है बच्चे को नहीं बोल रहा Hare Krishna. Hello.
यार अभी वो लेक्चर है ना महाराज का तैयारी कर रहे हैं आप जाइएगा हाँ ऊपर एक चैम्बर कॉल में हाँ हाँ
माला का बना
हाँ अब बाद में डालेंगे मैं ताकि आप सब प्लेट चाहिए ना ऊपर 12 प्लेट चाहिए सुबह जरा माने लेट है करे जगह ना जे ठीक है तो बलराम जी का थोड़ा थोड़ा
सोया हूँ क्या?
देखो नींद आ रहा है
इसको झाड़ के कुर्सी को सीधा कर लीजिए एक बार इधर से निकाल दीजिए हम कर लेंगे
तुझे स्मेल की कपड़े स्मेल की
उधर ले जाए बस